Hey 8th graders, I hope you all are having a good day. Today we are going to start our first Amplify lesson and our first Amplify unit. But before we begin that, I just wanted to show you guys how we will be setting up our notebook for all of our Amplify lessons. So first and foremost, you'll need to open your OneNote. If you guys remember going into Teams, in Teams you guys will see a button similar to this up in the upper left-hand corner that has these 9 squares. If you guys click on that, you'll get a menu, and in it you should see OneNote. Okay? If you guys have a Chromebook, don't use these little apps at the bottom. They just don't seem to be like full apps for any of the Microsoft things. So use the one that's actually found in Chrome. So go to Clever, go to your Teams, open it up from there. Okay, so once you have OneNote open, you guys can see our first unit that we did was the metric system. So we had set up that section as the metric system, and it had 2 pages. Okay, for all of our Amplify units, we're going to be adding new sections. So this first unit is called Harnessing Human Energy, and you guys will need 2 pages for all of these Amplify units. You'll need vocabulary and key concepts. You guys can already see that I've got some vocab added. You guys will add that as you go today. These will be posted on your team's post for today's post as well as these key concepts. So as we go through our Amplify lessons and add to our notes, those pictures will all be available for you guys on Teams. So easy cut, copy, and paste. Okay, so go ahead, take a second. I'm going to let you guys pause and set up your notebook for Harnessing Human Energy with 2 pages, vocabulary, and key concept. Go ahead and hit play when you guys are done, and we'll keep moving on. All right, so now that you guys have set up your notebooks, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Amplify. For those of you guys who aren't familiar with Amplify, you haven't used it, maybe you weren't here last year, or it's just been a long time since you used it. Amplify can be found in all your guys' Clevers. Okay, it's this little orange square with a white A on it. So that's the icon for Amplify. When you guys pull that up, you should see physical science. If you do not see that, let me know so we can get it fixed for you. So our first unit right here is Harnessing Human Energy. You guys can also see the other units that we'll go through. So force and motion, things like that. Okay, so for now, we're going to go ahead and just click into our first unit, which is Harnessing Human Energy. You guys can see for this, we have 3 chapters. Okay, chapter 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, we're going to start in chapter 1. Let's go ahead and click chapter 1. And in chapter 1, you see 4 lessons. So lesson 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 1.4. So when I tell you guys, hey, go in and do lesson 1.1 or 1.1, you guys will know, obviously, that's referring to the lesson. Chapter 1, lesson 1. Okay, when you guys look at the top up here, you guys can also see a way of going back. If I need to go back and pick a different unit, I might click Amplify Science, and it will take me back to the main page. Okay, if I need to go and choose a different chapter or a different lesson, I can either click Chapter 1 to choose a different lesson, or I can go back to the Harnessing Human Energy and pick a different chapter in this unit. Okay, so now that you guys should know your way around a little bit, we're going to go ahead and pull up lesson 1.1. And I'm going to show you a little bit about this. So each lesson has a different number of activities. In this case, you guys will see 3 activities. So activity 1, 2, and 3. This is one that's just on mine as a teacher, so you don't have to worry about that. But you guys will also use this little tab right here called Lesson Brief. So you guys, when you start a lesson, can look through the lesson. It's not letting me scroll right now. Hold on just a minute. There we go. You guys can look through a lesson and read the overview. But the main thing that you guys will use this for is digital resources. So today, for instance, you guys will be watching this video. You guys won't be able to see it like I see it, but you guys can go to your lesson brief and find it right here under digital resources. You guys can also find a glossary. So a glossary is something to help you find definitions for our vocab words. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, and let's talk just for a second about what we're going to be doing in this class. So this class is physical science, and in physical science, basically we study the physical world, which you're like, well, duh, that couldn't be a worse definition. You're right. So what is the physical world? right? If we're looking at the world around us, what do we consider the physical world? So some of you guys might be thinking, well, it's outside. Or, you know, some of you guys might not even have a clue. You're like, I don't know what we're learning about in this class. In this case, the physical world is basically everything that's not living. Okay, so we might look at something like atoms or chemicals or gravity or, in this case, energy. Those are all things that are not living. In 7th grade, you studied life science or biology. So that's everything that's living. So we're studying everything that's not living. Okay, and you guys also have a lot of stuff that goes into physical science. It's not just things that are not living, but it's also the process of how we study the world around us. So how do we understand how gravity works? How do we know how energy transfers? Okay, so to get us started on energy today, you guys will be doing activity 1, sorting tool. You guys will see that your activity 1 looks something like this. You have some instructions right here, like a goal. Decide whether each object does or does not have energy. It says right here, launch the Harnessing Human Energy Sorting Tool activity, and then you guys will see this blue text. That blue text is a link. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see, so if you guys know you have to open something, look for some text that is either blue or purple. If you guys go ahead and click on that, it's going to open this sorting tool for you, and I'm just going to go through the instructions with you instead of read them. What you guys will see in this is 2 boxes. The first one is things that have energy, and the bottom one is things that don't have energy. Over on the right-hand side, you guys have a number of objects. What you guys will do is you'll sort the objects that you know or you think you know have energy into this top box, and things that you think don't have energy into this bottom box. If you're not really sure whether it has energy or not, you guys can just leave it over here for now. What we're going to do is we're going to revisit this sorting tool a couple times. So as we learn a little bit more, you guys will kind of change your ideas about energy and probably change how you guys sorted things. So one that might be pretty easy for us to look at right now is a light from a flashlight. Okay, we all know that this flashlight is on, it's shining its light, and we also know that it's run by a battery. Most of you guys probably think that a battery is some sort of energy. So you might click battery and bring it to the things that have energy box. Okay, and you would be right in doing that. So go ahead, I'm going to have you guys pause this video. Take a second to sort through all of these objects. Again, if you're not 100% sure where it goes, or you think maybe it just doesn't fit into either of these 2 categories, you guys can leave it over here from now. When you are done, click hand in, and I will be able to see how you guys sorted everything. So go ahead, pause, take a second, and do your sorting tool. All right, so I should be able to go back and look and see how you guys did on your sorting tool. But for now, let's go ahead and head into this next activity. You guys will have this video to watch. It's really important that you guys watch it. It's not very long. It's kind of cheesy. But what it's going to allow you guys to do is understand what we're going to be studying in this unit. Basically, in Amplify units, you guys are given a problem as scientists, and you guys are asked to figure out how to solve the problem. So you guys are going to learn about this emergency team that runs out of batteries on a rescue. So you guys are going to learn how to tie that into energy, and you guys will be, throughout this unit, thinking of solutions to the energy, the problem that these emergency workers are having with their energy supply. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is go to Lesson Brief, go to your digital resources on the right-hand side, and find this link right here, Video Energy for Emergencies. You guys will open up that video, and you guys can go ahead and take a second. It's only about 2 minutes long to watch that. So go ahead and pause me, go into your Amplify, go to your Lesson Brief, and watch that video. All right, welcome back, guys. I just want to go through a couple things with you guys. First of all, let's go ahead and talk about the unit question. Okay, so you guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, go to Teams and add the unit question and the Chapter 1 question to your notebooks under Key Concepts. So basically, you guys will have a question that you're asked, and every key concept that we add will help you guys answer this question. You guys, again, will be able to use this notebook on tests. These key concepts that we're going to start adding tomorrow are going to be really important in helping you guys answer some question on the test. If you guys can think about the key concepts and they make sense to you, the test is going to be really easy. Okay, so your unit question for this harnessing human energy is, how is it possible to charge electrical devices when the power is out? Okay, and your chapter 1 question is, what is energy and why does it matter to the rescue team? So obviously you guys did that sorting tool, and we kind of learned a little bit about what you think is energy, but as far as the scientist goes, we're going to learn a little bit more about what energy is and how this might help a rescue team. Okay, all right, going on to the next section. One more thing I want to show you guys about Amplify is, if you see these three or these numbered circles at the bottom, okay, those mean that there's several parts to an activity. So if we're looking at activity 2 right now, you have 3 parts that you need to navigate through. Oftentimes kids will miss that. So the 2 important things I'd say to look at is make sure you guys are doing all the parts of an activity and that you're always handing in where it says hand in, or navigating through this next button. Okay, so your first part of this is going to be to explore the harnessing human energy simulation. So I'm going to go ahead, let you guys open that up, pause the video, and take about 2 or 3 minutes to kind of just explore what you guys can do with this simulation. All right, so you guys should have kind of had a second to explore. So I'm going to have you guys go ahead and hit next. So in this simulation, you guys are going to learn a little bit more about it, and I'm going to give you a little bit more of a guide through it. You guys will return to the simulation, but this time you guys have a task to complete. So students explore the harnessing human energy simulation and then use it to build a system that makes a light shine. So your goal is to make a light shine. So after you build a system that makes a light shine, discuss the question below with your partner. Obviously, if you guys are working from home, you don't have a partner, so you can just think about it. And then record your thinking. So you guys would type in this box. So let's go ahead, take a look at the simulation. So your goal is to make a light shine. First of all, you guys can kind of have creative ability of this, but you need to select an energy source. So if you guys messed around with this, you guys will see that there's a lot of different energy sources. But the key thing is you can't just use any energy source and any system you want. You can only use, for instance, fuel. So you guys are all fairly familiar with fuel. You use it every day you drive in a car. But notice this little puzzle piece knob after it. You guys can only use systems off of this that can fit. So when you guys fuel up your car, you're fueling up your engine. So if we look at an engine, notice how it has the same little piece up here. Okay, an engine can only mechanically fuel certain things as well. So you guys would need to find something that fits with that. In this case, our end goal is to make a light up. So here are our lights. If we look, we can't just use an engine to stick on there. So we need to find something that will stick and go. So we could use a generator, it looks like. So let's go ahead and stick a generator on there. Oops, that was not a generator. We can stick our generator on there, and then we can use that to make a light shine. Okay, and then we can also change how much fuel we use. When we're ready, we can click run, and what you guys will see is the fuel is being used up to turn the engine's cranking the generator, and the generator is fueling the LED light. Looks like we ran out of fuel. Then you guys can click analyze and see how we transferred energy in, how much energy was left in the system afterward, and then energy that we transferred out in the form of light and heat. Okay, so you guys are going to make a different system that makes the light run. You guys cannot use the fuel in the generator and the engine. Okay, so go ahead, take a second, pause the video, and answer this question, and then hit next. All right, let's go ahead and hit next. And let's add system, a set of interacting parts forming a complex whole to your guys' notes. You guys just formed a little energy system that lit up a light bulb. Okay, when you're done with that, click hand in. Your guys' notes should now be complete for the day. You have your 2 unit and chapter questions, and you have your 1 vocab for this lesson. Okay, finally, you guys are going to go ahead and hit next and do your homework. Your homework's fairly simple. First of all, it says, do you think a moving skateboard has energy? Why or why not? Do you think people use energy before modern times? When I think modern times, I think anytime we had electricity. So prior to electricity, you know, pioneer days, looking back at like caveman, do you think they had energy? Why or why not? Make sure you guys answer why or why not on these questions. Explain yourself. And then how well do you think you understand energy? So this is just for your guys' record. Do you think you know a lot or not at all? When you finish your homework, click hand in, and you guys are done with your first amp.